With Pokemon DLC being a basic yes, and one of the most anticipated things about it is returning Pokemon, today I'll be predicting how likely each Pokemon is going to be returning. You know what's one thing I would love to return to? Me getting to 100 subscribers. I mean, I never got to there to begin with, but you know what I mean. I would love to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, so it would really help if you would like, comment, and subscribe for me. With that being said, let's begin with the video. So here are a few things that will be affecting the rating. A few things like that will be how well the Pokemon will potentially fit in Paldea and popularity. Ever since Sword and Shield, all Pokemon featured games, basically, if they were in that region, they had to be there for a reason, whether it's climatic or something like that. Like, you wouldn't see like random Pokemon that wouldn't fit the theme in games anymore. And with how many Pokemon there are, no, not every Pokemon is going to return. But still. The way I'm going to rate them is I'm going to rate them using Pokeballs. With 1 being absolutely not coming, and 5 being almost 100% coming. I did the same thing in the Nintendo Direct and my Pokemon's Leak videos, which you should check out. Also, if you get more than 50% of these correct, you have to legally subscribe. Now let's start. Venusaur. He has multiple reasons why he's coming back. First off, Charizard is already in a game, so we can already know that the rest of the Kanto starters are going to be coming back too. Plus, in a data mine, there's a trainer in the game that has a Bulbasaur and a Gossifleur. Both Pokemon not yet in the game, so due to a data mine, we can basically 100% confirm that she's coming back. Blastoise, like I said for Venusaur, if Charizard is already in the game, then Blastoise is definitely coming back. Butterfree. I can see it coming back since we have Pokemon like Venomoth and Vivillon, which are both butterflies and a mouth Pokemon. However, since they're already in the game, there's somewhat of a lesser chance of it coming back. Beedrill. We already have Vespiquen, so it's somewhat unlikely. Pidgeot. We have a ton of bird Pokemon already, like Corviknight and Talonflame, so highly unlikely. Also, since Pidgey is based off a pigeon and Paldea is more of a tropical area from what I can see, I don't think it'll be a good environment for this. Also, heads up, for most bird Pokemon, they're probably going to be unlikely due to how many birds already are in the game, so there really isn't a need of more birds. Raticate. Very unlikely for both forms. Zero. Unlikely for the same reason as Pidgey, and also too many birds. Arbok. We already have Snake, which was Anaconda, so very unlikely, and I also don't really see any area where Arbok could potentially be in. Maybe in like the plains or like grasslands, but that's about it. Sandshrew. I can surprisingly see that Lowland version coming out, but not the base. Like, I can see a Lowland version in the mountains. However, for the base form, not exactly sure. Nidoqueen. Not likely. Nidoking. Not likely. Clefable. It's a fan favorite, so due to just popularity by itself, it might just come back. Also, we already have other wild Pokemon like Happiny in the wild, so probably both forms of Ninetales. I'm kind of torn because I can see a Lowland form, but not the original. Crobat. Unlikely. Vileplume and Bellossom. Due to the type of plant it is based off, and it not being native to Spain, I find this unlikely. Fun fact, I did actually, a few days ago find a shiny Oddish and I evolved it to a Vileplume. So that's cute. Poliwrath and Politoed. I don't see a reason for it not coming back, so it's likely. Alakazam. It's a fan favorite, so very likely. Machamp. Another fan favorite. And if Alakazam comes back, then so will Machop, since they're technically counterpart Pokemon. Victreebel. The plant it's based off isn't native to Spain, so unlikely. Tentacle. I don't see why not, but we do already have his convergent form, that being Toadstool or something like that in the game, so I'm gonna give it 3 Pokeballs for, it can come back, but at the same time it can't. Both forms of Golem. They're rocks, so probably. However, I don't see the Lowland form coming back that much. Both forms are Rapidash. Likely, especially for a Cantonian form, but the Galarian form, not that likely. Both forms of Farfetch'd. Very unlikely for both. Dodrio. Unlikely due to ostriches not being native to Spain, so not really. Dewong. Seals don't live in Spain, so no. Also, there really isn't any like place for like ice water types to like unironically live in. Like there's only like one small pond in like the mountains, but that's about it. So if you're an ice water type, it's probably a big no for you. Steelix. I have no reason why not, and I can unironically see it like in a desert or in like caves. Even though there isn't many caves, but in the few caves, like imagine being like jump scared by an onyx, like that would be cool. Kingler. The fact that we got Crabominal in the game and not Kringler is a crime. I can see him coming back in though. Executor. Most likely the Alolan form, because I mean Pabzella does seem like a place where to get a lot of sun, and like it just seems like a tropical place in general, so I can definitely see the Alolan form being native to here. But not the like Antonian form. Both forms of Marowak, probably unlikely. Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, and Hitmontop, unlikely. Licky Licky, unlikely. And please don't bring this guy back, please, just don't. Wheezing, unlikely for both forms. Rhyperior. I'm conflicted because although rhinos aren't native to Spain, but at the same time, I can see Rhyperior walking around with Sandaconda or other rock type Pokemon in the desert. So I'm gonna have to give it like a 3-star for maybe yes, maybe no. Tangrowth. I mean, vines are a thing, and they're in Spain, so 3-star. So like 3 Pokeballs. Kangaskhan. Also conflicted with this, but I'm gonna go with the likely. Also, did you know that this Pokemon was based off a kangaroo? I don't know what it was based off, but this like blew my mind. Electivire. Same with Rhyperior. Likely no, but there is no like really any reason for it not to come back, so 3 Pokeballs. Like Mortar. Likely. Kingdra. I can see Kingdra swimming around with like Pokemon like Veluza in like the dragon area. So 3 stars. Seeking. He's just a goldfish. So very unlikely. Staryu. I don't see why. So somewhat likely. Mr. Mime. No. Mr. Rhyme. No. Even less likely since he's based off like a England thing. So very unlikely. Jinx. Very unlikely. Pinsir. Just no. Lapras. In a recent Dynamite of Pokemon Unite, we saw Lapras as a new character coming to the game. So this of course not be real on Pokemon Day, but I can also see Lapras swimming around with other water types in like the ocean or in the coast, so I can see it coming to Paldea. And since it's coming to Pokemon Unite, this is just like more evidence of it like coming over to Paldea too. All fossil Pokemon. Since this game is about the past and the future, and literally not a single fossil Pokemon coming back, I can see that in a DLC, all fossil Pokemon coming back in like Area 0 or something, but instead of you having to revive them or being them in the wild, they're actually coming back from the past itself, which I find is a pretty interesting idea, but I feel like that's what they're going to do with fossil Pokemon. With Porygon being a more futuristic Pokemon, and the same one as like the fossil Pokemon I said just earlier, I can see him being roaming around Area 0 coming directly from the future. Also, if I can recall, Porygon in the wild was a thing in Sword and Shield, but I might be mistaken. In fact, I think some fossil Pokemon were in the wild too. Snorlax, a marketable fan favorite that everyone loves. Plus, he's a very thick boy. Though, yeah, he's definitely coming back. Magnium, somewhat likely. That's because Hisuian Typhlosion is going to be in the game, confirmed from like Pokemon Home. So, just like with like Charizard and Squirtle and Bulbasaur, I feel like Magnum and Feraligatr have to come back by default, but at the same time, they're like Johto starters and like Kanto starters like have more priority because, you know, they're the OGs. So if Magnum and Feraligatr don't come back, I understand. And there really, if you think about it, there isn't really any reason they'll come back either, because like they don't have anything that's like based like that would be good to live in Spain, which is what Paldea is based off of. So I'm gonna give it a 3-star for or not 3 stars, but 3 Pokeballs for like maybe Sentret. As much as I love Sentret, I don't think he's returning. Knocked out. Somewhat likely since owls do live in Spain, but at the same time, too many bird Pokemon. Lantern. Unlikely. Aridos. We already have a spider Pokemon in the game, so I don't really see this guy returning. Togekiss. I don't see a reason for it not returning, and we've seen other like baby Pokemon in the wild, like Pikachu and Apini in the wild, so I can see Togekick coming in the wild, so why not? So somewhat likely. I can also see it like swimming, like not swimming, but like flying around where like Garchomps are and stuff like that. Plus, I really do like this Pokemon. It's one of my favorite, so I'm gonna give it like 4 Pokeballs. Legendaries and Mythicals. They're most likely definitely all coming back, either in Terra Raids or in gifts or mystery gifts or some form. They're coming back for sure. Like, no cap. Xatu. A Native American bird in Spain? No. Apom. Monkeys don't live in Spain, so a big no. Unknown. Unless there is something in the DLC that involves Arceus, then unless that happens, then it's probably a big no. Well, I'm pretty sure Hidden Power, the move, isn't in the game, so yeah, it's like a big no. Wobbuffet. Gimmick Pokemon, so very unlikely. Yanmega. Somewhat likely. Gliscor. Somewhat likely. Specifically Gligar, I can just see like in a desert area. Ramble. For some reason, we got a bunch of new dog Pokemon in this generation along with other past dogs, so we're probably not getting any other dogs. Plus, this guy gives us more of Galar vibes if anything. Shuckle? No. Just no. Macargo? There's no volcanoes in Paldea, and in the Pokemon entries they state that they live near volcanoes, so this is a huge no. Mamoswine? Somewhat likely, just for the mere fact that I can see Swinub like hanging out with Snovers and like Weaviles in the wild in the mountain. So yeah. Corsola. Both forms are very unlikely, since Coral just do not live, or Coral just does not come up in Spain. Octillery. No, because octopuses aren't native to Spain. Mantime. Same with Octillery, no. Plus they're like counterpart Pokemon, so if one doesn't come or one comes, then another one has to come with too. Montgomery. I saw no reason why it cannot come back, but at the same time, there's a bunch of bird Pokemon, so very unlikely. Smeargle. Since it's a competitive fan favorite, I can somewhat see it coming back. Miltank. If Tauros is here, I don't see why not Miltank can be, so I'm gonna give it like 3 Pokeballs. Hoenn starters. I can genuinely see them in the game. Plus, I've seen overall pretty cool like Paradox like form like ideas I see, especially for Sceptile and Blaziken. So I'm gonna give it 3 Pokeballs for somewhat likely. Linoon. Both forms are very unlikely. Specifically Galar, which I feel like will just not come. If anything, we might get Zigzagoon, like the original form, but not the Galar forms. Mightyani. Houndour is in the game, so then I don't see why not like Mightyani can be. Plus wolves are like native to this area, so yeah, 4 Pokeballs. Beautify and Dustox, somewhat likely. Ludicolo. I can see Ludicolo living in more swampy areas. With that being said, unlikely, because there really isn't any swamp areas in like Paldea. Shiftry. No. This Pokemon is based off Japanese legend, so absolutely not. Plus, you don't really find much acorns in like Spain. Swalo. Too many bird Pokemon, so unlikely. Nincada. I don't see why not, but at the same reason, I don't see why it will return. So, like I said, conflicted 3 stars. Exploud. Unlikely. Probopass. No. Delcatty. I'm gonna be honest, I can somewhat see Delcatty returning, so 4 stars. Mawile. Sableye is in the game, plus Megas have been rumored to come back, so I can see her coming back somewhat likely. Keep in mind that this is based off a Kalos rumor, and like I said, it's a rumor, so it's just a rumor, so it may or may not be true, so yeah. I can definitely say Aggron line, or specifically like the Aron line, like just like walking around in the desert. So somewhat likely. Manectric. Too many doggies, so no. Plusle and Minun. No. Volbeat. In a link that Pokemon Company actually leaked themselves in like a regional like competitive Pokemon like tournament, we actually were able to see sprites for Illuminace. So yeah, this Pokemon basically leaked that like he's coming back in the game. Since Illuminace is coming, we're definitely gonna see Volbeat because they're like counterpart Pokemon, so they're supposed to become together. Roserade. There's a lot of flower scenery in Paldea, so very likely Sharpedo. Like I said before, Veluza and Sharpedo racing each other, I can see that happening, so very likely. Wailord. No. The sole reason, because like Wailord is supposed to be more of a deep ocean Pokemon, and not found in the coast. So if I say no to other water Pokemon, that's because they're meant to be more in the deep ocean and not in the coast where you can basically do in Paldea. You can only go to the coast and only so far in the ocean. Relicanth. No. Spinda. Pandas are not natives to Spain, so no. Flygon. I can see players being ambushed by Trampich while they're buried in the sand, the same way that Earthworm does to other people, like to you in the game. So, somewhat likely. Solrock and Lunatone. No and no. Crawdaunt. I can see it in the coastal beaches when it's a Corphish, so somewhat likely. Claydol. No. Milotic. No. Dusclops. I mean, if Gengar's here, then why not Dusclops? Castform. I mean, I'm conflicted, so I'm just gonna give it 2 Pokeballs. Kecleon. Nope. Chameleons are not native to Spain, so no. Chimecho. I don't see why not, but at the same time, I don't know, so I'm gonna give it 3 Pokeballs. Absol. I can see it living in the mountains somewhat, so likely. Walrein. As much as I want to see Sealflake rolling around following you, there isn't really an area for water ice types like I said with Duwong, so I'm gonna have to say no. Clamperl. No. Metagross. It looks like a few restricted Pokemon in general, so this is a huge, like, almost 100% likely. Bidoof. Please, 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 no. Just no. Infernape. Nope. Torterra. Nope. Empoleon. Nope. Burmy. Nope. Please don't, I hate this fucking Pokemon so much, so just don't bring it back. Lopunny. Nope. Glameow. It's just a normal cat, so in that case, I don't see why not. Somewhat unlikely. Chatot. Too many bird Pokemon and parents aren't native to this area. Well, Squawkabilly exists, but this type of parrot in general like doesn't exist. Somewhat unlikely, sadly, and it's sad because I really do like Chatot. He can say the F word. Drapion. Not native to Spain, but I can still see Drapion just walking in the desert, so I'm gonna give it a maybe. Carloline. No. They're not native to like Spain, like Venus flytraps, so it's a big no. Moving forward, Pokemon actually started to be based off areas they're based off. So for example, Unova is based off America, so we'll get more American based, like Pokemon. Kalos is based off France, Alola based off Hawaii, and Galar based on England. So with that being said, a lot more Pokemon are just not gonna make it in because they're based off that region specifically. Period and Bor. Same with the Johto starters. Since one of them got into Hisuian form, that being Oshawott, then we're more likely to see the rest in the game, because it wouldn't be fair for the rest of the trio. Patrat. I'll love to see him since he's one of the few Pokemon who actually haven't made their Switch debut yet, but most likely not happening since there really isn't anything like I can see that has any like Spain inspirations, and like there really isn't a reason for it to come back. The Monkey Trio. This is also another Pokemon that hasn't made their Nintendo Switch debut yet, and they're probably not gonna make it anytime soon. So no. Leopard. No. Stoutland. It's just uses American and also too many dogs, so no. Masharna. No. Ufozant. No. Too many birds. Zubstrika. No. Zebras don't live here, so it's a big no. Gigalith. I'm kind of mixed with Gigalith because I can see Uragan and Rolo walking around in caves, But other than that, probably no. Subat? No. Autono? No. Girder? No. Exadrill? Maybe. Seismitoad? No Swamp? No Show. Sock? Ew. No. Throw? Ew. No. Scolipede? Not native, so no. Levani? I'm conflicted. At first I was gonna say no, but the more I think about it, I can see it coming back. So 3 Pokeballs. Whimsicott? Somewhat likely, since I can see these in the wild. Darumaka? I can unironically see both forms in the wild, so I'm gonna give it a 3 Pokeballs. Maractus? Cactur's in the game, I don't see why not Maractus. With that being said, 4 Pokeballs. Scrafty? I can definitely see Team Star using these Pokemon, but since they're more of a punk and urban roots, like based off New York, like gangsters, and besides Team Star there really isn't that, I'm gonna have to say no, but instead of giving it 1 Pokeball like with most Pokemon I said no, I'm gonna give it 2. Crustle. If we have Cloth, I don't see why not we can have Crustle. Sigilus? No. Cofagrigus? No. Go Border? Paldea looks like a clean place and it doesn't seem like much pollution, so I'm gonna have to say no. Chino? Somewhat likely. Reuniclus? No. Swanna? Man, Swanna got overshadowed by Quaxley. Like, look at Ducklet and look at Quaxley. Like, ever since Quaxley like got released, like everyone's like no one remembers Ducklet. And with that, and it was just the sheer existence of Quaxley, I'm gonna have to say no. Vanillix? No. Amalgam? No. As much as I love Amalgam, no. Flying squirrels aren't native to this area. Escavalier? No. And the same goes for its rival Pokemon, Jellicent. I can see it somewhat in the close, so likely. Venusaur? Unlikely, no. Joltik? We already have a ton of spider Pokemon, so no. And I'm just starting to realize how many spider Pokemon we have, which is kind of crazy. Clink. Ew. No. BKM? No, but at the same time, it's giving off a future aesthetic, so I can see it coming out in Area 0, so I'm going to put it as a maybe. Chandelier? I can see it hopping around as a Litwick, so maybe. Dredagon? I mean, I can see it battling like Garchomps, so maybe. Stuntfish? All forms. There's no swamps here, so I really don't have any like reason for Stunfish to come back, so no. Manchu? Chinese based, so no. And I do know like the 4 legendaries we do have in the game are Chinese based. I just think those are one-off, so it's still a no. Golurk? I can see him in, but I just can't think of an area where we'll be able to find, like where you can just find him. So it's a big maybe. Buffalant? This is an American-based creature, so no. Mandibuzz? Another American-based creature, so no. Heatmore and Durant. I don't see neither in this area, since the animals are based off just do not live here. And they're just not based off this region, so no. Diggersby? Likely. Pangoro? Chinese based, so no. But at the same time, it's also from Kalos. By the way, for any Pokemon in Kalos, they're automatically gonna have an extra point for numerous evidence showing that Kalos might be DLC. So with that being said, basically any Kalos Pokemon is more likely to come in the game in general. Meowstic? Somewhat likely. Edgy-Slash? Somewhat likely. Aromatose? Somewhat likely. Slurpluff? Somewhat likely. Malamar? Somewhat likely. Barnacle? Somewhat likely. Trevorant? Somewhat likely. Also, is it me or are there just not that many trees in Paldea? Gourgeist? Somewhat likely, and it'll also be definitely cool if we could get like a Halloween event based off Gourgeist. Alola starters, just like with Johto and Unova, if Decidueye is coming to the game, which was confirmed, then it will be fair if, you know, Primarina and Incineroar would come back too. In fact, out of those all starters, I feel like these are the most fitting to come back. Also, if Incineroar is coming back, please nerf Incineroar. Bikeavolt, somewhat likely. Toucannon, no. Too many birds, and also he is clearly a Hawaiian based like creature. Rimbombi, I mean, I can see like Fulbebe and Rimbombi together in the wild, so most likely. Wishy-Washy, deep sea ocean Pokemon, so no. Araquanid, no. Geonotic, Ill, no. Beware, no. Comfey, this is definitely Hawaiian based, so definitely no. Golisopod, from what it's based off, I'm gonna have to give it a hard maybe. Pyukumuku, no. Minior, nor. Togedemaru, no. Delamise, deep ocean Pokemon, so no. Drampa, no. Kamao, Hawaiian Inspiration, so no. Ultra Beast, there's actually a lot of evidence like in a data mine showing that they're definitely going to come back, but they're going to be like downgraded. So instead of being like legendary status, they're going to be somewhat similar to like Paradox Pokemon. So what's most likely going to happen is that we're going to see like wormholes opening up in like the Area 0, and you'll be able to catch them there. Or they just might be in the wild, which would be interesting to see, not going to lie. Orbeetle, no. Seevil, potentially yes, but I'm conflicted, so I'm going to give it 4 Pokeballs. Gossifleur, if you remember in the beginning of the video where I said it was Bulbasaur, but why he's definitely coming back, I mentioned in a leak that, you know, like a trainer in a code has a Bulbasaur and a Gossifleur, 2 Pokemon who aren't in the game yet, so 100% coming. Wooloo, no. Centiskorch, no. Yamper, no. Cramorant, no. Graptolok, no. Milcreamy, no. Morpeko, no. And last but definitely not least, Duraludon, which I'm confused about, but maybe a big maybe. And that is all the Pokemon who aren't Scarlet and Violet and how likely I think they're going to be coming to the game. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if half my predictions come true, you will legally have to subscribe. And with that being said, have a nice day and stay safe on those streets, because those streets aren't safe. And good night.